Alright, I'm back. Um, I spent the last couple of hours trying to log on, but it's down to like a maintenance thing. Actually, I'm gonna turn off my lights 1 second. Alright. If I turn off the brightness in my room, I don't have to leave my computer screen brightness all the way up. But yeah, nothing major going on today. It's the day after Mother's Day. But yeah, like I say, this morning the server was down, so I couldn't get on to play. But yeah, and I mute myself again, like usual, so that way there's not as much feedback in the video. But yeah, otherwise, peace out.
A breach near the sea. I do love the ocean. It's a shame you can only see it in 3 dimensions. All the quasitones and endless number forms. Actually, I take it back. Your meat brain would explode if you saw this.
Well, someone had to kill her. Vereda didn't just up and die at the tender age.
You walk in here on 3 skeevers arguing over a dead body and decide you want to chat with one of them? You either got some kind of guts or you're some kind of stupid. Either way, maybe you can help. A family squabble of sorts. You see, one of these ghosties went and killed Vereda. Problem is, none of us are about to go treasure hunting with a murderer at our back. Then killing for gold. You don't stop at one. Or so I hear. Ancestor of ours, Jadil the Keelhauler, cached her loot around here. If you grab the chest for us, there's no chance for a sneak attack. The map over there will lead you right to it. And obviously, I'll pay you for the trouble. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Look at these squabbling fools. Why don't I just take the treasure myself? Tough like that. The only thing that will crack the chest open is the blood of Jadil's descendant. Thus, you'll need one of us. I'm known as Igeki Ratbite. It would serve you well to not forget that name, given that I'll one day have a legacy as epic as Jadil herself. You saw my face, right? I got bit by a rat. It was a big rat. Don't worry, it's dead now. She was an explorer, sailed from Atmora all the way to Yakura, despite half her crew falling mad along the way. She discovered new lands, new cultures. Shame so few hear of her. Her greatest adventure was raiding the palace of King Ognum himself. Right you are. Fled Piandanea after, quick as a flash. Pa said the whole Miramore fleet came after her. Eventually, they chased her right to this cove. She fled to the shore, clutching a single chest of treasure. Buried it before making her way back home. The blood of my blood willingly given. That's how the enchantment goes. You see, Jadil wanted to settle down, have a few brats of her own. So, the story was passed along, waiting for a descendant adventurous enough to set sail.
Another one? You there! Come here! I bet you've come here for an Aurealis bloom. Well, tough luck. Fresh out. Last one was nabbed a fortnight ago. Come back in about a year. Maybe I'll have another one by then. Why else would you come here? The view? You know, once you could get an Aurealis anywhere. Now it's all but gone. Blotted out of existence by the greed of artists. You heard me. As soon as they learned it made a pretty paint, that was it. Didn't care that it takes over a year to grow, and that's only with proper care. No, they had to have it. And so they took, and now there's nothing left. What are you, deaf? Or just scared to go back empty-handed? Look, I told you that plant is gone. Go find another bloom for your fancy painting. Off with you now. Just leave me and my garden be. Off with you now. I have a lot to do, and you're not helping by stomping about my delicate plants. What are you? Some sort of monster? Can't leave a plant on the brink of extinction alone? Can't let the rest of Somerset enjoy its natural beauty? All for some paint? Fine. I have one left, under the basket there, but you can't take it. Of course I did. Why would I let you have one of the last, if not the last, surviving blooms? If you take that plant, the species may be wiped out for good. Did you ever, in your obsession with paint, think about what you're taking from Somerset? Yes! That's what I've been saying all along. You're about to uproot what could be the last Aurealis on Somerset and grind it up for some painting. How could you do something so horrible? You really want to take the chance? I'm telling you, I've searched all over this island. This is the only one I could find. In less than a year, it will spread seeds. I'll nurture them, help rekindle the species. Please, just don't do this. Finally, someone who sees reason. Thank the stars. And thank you too, kind traveler. After the last visitor, I was just about ready to give up hope that I'd ever meet a kindred soul. Oh, but damn that Verilel. I'd have 2 blooms if not for him. Yes, Verilel. The blasted artist who took the last Aurealis bloom I cultivated. That's why I was so desperate to save the only surviving plant.
Alright, I'm gonna kind of cheat here and look it up online. For some reason I don't know how to access the map. There's no real images. It doesn't really help you. Oh, here we go. And I mute myself again.
So, were you able to find Jadir's treasure? Huh. I always imagined it a tad... So? Huh. I always imagined it a tad... bigger. Well, if it's stuffed with diamonds, I guess it doesn't much matter what size the box is. Thanks for grabbing it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to crack this beauty open. Now, let's see what we're working with here.
Can't you bleed any faster, Igeki?
Indeed, my being roils with anticipation.
What the? There's just a scroll in here! I sailed across many seas and raided many ships, but the most precious treasure is family. May you see the wisdom in these words.
What? I came all this way for nothing? I can't believe I poisoned Vereda for a stupid scroll!
Hold a moment. You killed Vereda? But I was the one who strangled her right after she fell asleep.
Neither of you are making any sense! I stabbed her! Right after we doused the fire!
Wait, did we all kill Vereda to get a bigger share of the treasure?
Ha! I suppose betrayal runs in the family. To think that Jadir planned for this outcome from the very start! Who knew the old girl had such a flair for the dramatic? I wonder if she ever thought of joining the theater. I am called Drokagir, after my father. He was a man of girth, you see. Mother required some way to separate us, and so the epithet Lesser was given to me. Of course, you'll find most to be a lesser man than Drokagir the Lesser, especially when it comes to acting. Yes, most ardently so. I've graced many of Skyrim's stages. Once I've obtained my wealth, I'll visit the House of Reveries. I suspect they'll demand I join them once they've caught wind of my talent.
I can't believe I ever looked up to this lunatic crone. To think she would trick us all just for some stupid moral lesson. I just hope such lunacy doesn't run in the family. An explorer? No. I wanted to be a filthy rich pirate captain. I was going to use the treasure to put together a ship and crew. But thanks to Jadil and her bleeding heart, I suppose that's not going to happen. A life of scrubbing decks and taking orders, no thanks. You know, killing Vereda was pretty easy. Maybe I'll join the Dark Brotherhood. I just have to catch their attention, right? Yeah, I think I could do that.
I suppose that's why Jadil gave up a life of piracy. She decided a loving family was more important than riches or treasure. What an idiot. They call me Soberstorn. And yes, I realize that is an odd name for a Nord. Make no mistake, I still enjoy a strong brew. There was another Storn in my village. Stone drunk at all hours of the day. He once fell in a mead tank and had to drink his way out. Practically a village hero after that. I was just sober in comparison.
Welcome, friend. Don't believe my...
Eshba. Eshba.
Fivefold venerations, my friend.
to call that speed? I've seen dozing Argonians move faster than that.
That's made from superior materials. You have an eye for quality. Is your shipment headed for Cyrodiil? No matter, we'll get it where it needs to go. Made that yourself, did you? Well done.
I sense life.
Was it glow dust and snowberries, or...?
We just got in a shipment of...
You call that bag and...
So, what do you people value? I'm thinking of seeking trading partners in Volquast. I brew fragrant elixir.
You are needing a good...
I brew fragrant elixirs.
Looking to buy, sir?
So much to do.
You there! How would you like to do something worthwhile?
Fivefold venerations, my...
courier. I would like to have a word, if you would. You know, I've heard quite a bit about your little venture to acquire Tindoria's supplies for her latest sketch, and I must say I'm impressed. You've certainly proven capable. I have a proposition for you. Sell those supplies to me instead. Well, I could speak to how those supplies would be used in the service of art that touches the soul of mer and man. But I feel my words would not move you, so let's try another venue, shall we? I'll double whatever payment Tindoria has offered. Me do such a thing? As I told dearest Brodrin, it was Tindoria who sought to drive him to ruin. Why, I adore the little woodland elf. Tindoria has tricked you, my friend. Then someone she paid to incriminate me, no doubt. This game we play is one with many twists. Tindoria has simply made sure to be one step ahead this time. Sell me those supplies, and I'll even make sure to compensate Brodrin for the trouble. Well, that's a shame, isn't it? Such wonderful colors wasted on such a forgettable piece. I am a purveyor of the divine, my friend. Cannot blame me for trying. Off with you, then. I shall defeat my rival the old-fashioned way, with talent.
At last you return, and with my reagents! Come, I simply must see them. My genius is like a stallion waiting to be set free. Complication? A fine way to refer to Veyralel. Oh, don't look so surprised. I can still smell that insufferable perfume of his. Yet here you are, which tells me you must have seen through his charade. Now, what of my supplies? Extinct? How could such a common plant go extinct? Just last week I saw some. Oh, wait a moment, was that last month? Last year? Oh, how the time flies when you're creating. No matter. Fine, I can work without it. I will, however, dock your pay. Oh, that scoundrel! Brodrin is a good mer, and he loves those bugs like his own children. This is intolerable news. How will I do without my sea grey? No, I cannot allow this. I will send Brodrin alone to cover this year's livestock. Oh, wonderful! I hope she'd like it. I do wish she'd return to the city instead of living in that backwater swamp. Though perhaps something good can be said for her isolation, as she's created such a lovely teal. And here is your payment, as contracted. I am pleased you chose to honor our arrangement instead of siding with that scoundrel. Oh, I see it now! You're the perfect subject for my masterpiece! Your shining loyalty, your pure heart. Perfect! Your visage upon my canvas shall be viewed for centuries, I'm sure. Why, maybe one day it will be featured in a gallery with the Queen herself. It's really very generous of me. You're quite welcome. Oh, just a quick sketch then, to capture your essence. I simply must make sure I get the eyes right. There, that should serve well enough.
Greetings, traveler. Say, have you met with another elf around here? Heavy armor, sour disposition. I hired her as an escort for my expedition, and unfortunately I cannot start without her. Hardly a surprise, given her demeanor last we spoke. Still, it's hard to get someone to agree to escort you into Ebon Stadmont. From what I heard, the forest appears to shift as you move through it. Makes it a bit tricky to navigate. Well, I found research of an ancient temple, somewhere in this very forest. I've come to study what secrets it may have, but I don't think it wise to go it alone. Say, would you be willing to escort me? I must say, I do pay well. Thank you for accepting my offer. I'm quite excited to be heading my own expedition. Usually I work under Tellinger, the artificer, but sometimes he's a bit much. It's nice to finally be able to break free from being his assistant. Oh no, of course not. The Mages Guild still requires me to accompany him on his expeditions. I've just taken a short sabbatical is all. As soon as I finish my research here, I'm sure I'll be off on more hair-raising adventures. Well, being Tellinger's assistant is informative in many ways. But I think now's the time to prove to the Mages Guild, and to myself, that I can strike out on my own. Ebon Stadmont just happened to catch my interest. The ruins within Ebon Stadmont are ancient, perhaps even built in the Merethic era. They contain inscriptions of a mysterious language, which only a few have begun to translate. I believe these inscriptions can help lead us to the inner temple. It's old, even for a High Elf's perspective. I found translations of only a few phrases, and even those are sparse. An interesting topic for a linguist, perhaps, but for me it's only the means to an end. The temple is all I wish to investigate. As I said before, this forest is tricky to navigate. The pathways twist and shift as you walk through it. That's why the temple hasn't been explored previously. Following these inscriptions should lead us to the temple. Not much. Even though one can see the temple through the trees, the forest has made all research near impossible. It most likely was a place of worship, now abandoned. For some reason, the worshippers wished for the temple to remain inaccessible. The nature of this forest doesn't allow travelers to simply walk to the temple we seek. Someone must have used magic to accomplish this, in order to keep outsiders from entering. Luckily, the inscriptions here should guide us. Oh no, of course not. Well, being a rather enthusiastic and often... We're looking for inscriptions. Alert me once you see any gibberish carved into stone. Yes, this is exactly what we're looking for. Why, it's almost as if I can hear the words. Sel Ra Ang Yond. Eastern Temple? Daedra? I don't have time for distractions. Could you hold them off while I finish translating? The inscription indicates that the temple is further up. Quick, follow me.
Uriel, how did I end up here? Is that you?
I swear I was walking in the opposite direction. Well, let's carry on.
Hello? I think we got separated. I hear you! Over here!
Well, seems the rumors are true. Ebon Stadmont truly does twist around you. Perhaps another inscription. Aha! Now let's see. That voice again. Para Ekne. Past pathway? Daedra again? We don't have time for this. I've got it! Follow me. The temple should be just ahead.
Hurrah! Volisto! The past revealed.
That thing before it takes care of us. thank the stars. I think he's coming too.
Am I really an Aetherius? I didn't know they let your kind in here. We of the House of Reveries have no names, only masks. But you can call me Fletch, because I specialize in the art of the bow, see? Oh, my aching head. How did I end up here? I don't remember a thing. Ebon Stadmont... I'm sorry, but I just don't remember. I must have come here with my traveling troupe, though. I wouldn't have left Relanthiel without them. Someone must have ambushed me. A ferocious someone, given my state. Daedra? Mara's elbow, that doesn't sound good. Could you help me find my troop leader, Maestro Forte? I need to warn him. He should be somewhere nearby, I think. Forte! Is that you?
Fletch! What's happened? The whole troop is looking for you.
Grand Maestro Forte? Why, I had no idea you were in Ebon Stadmont.
Grand? Oh no, I'm simply Maestro Forte. Hardly worthy of the title Grand yet. It appears you've saved Fletch from the brink of death. It brings to mind the story of Temerian, who of course was saved by the Nereids of... Ah, but now is not the time for such tales. Tell me, what has happened? Daedra? I had no idea. Our watch did report some strange creatures prowling about at night, but I've heard of no other attacks. Something must be attracting them here. Did you just come from the temple? The only thing of note I discovered within the temple is a glowing stone in its main chamber. I've yet to translate the stone's inscription, but it may be attracting Daedra to it. I found a similar stone nearby. Can you help me investigate? Excellent. Why don't you and your companion head to the stone? Just follow the path north. I'll escort Fletch to our camp and make sure he's seen to. We'll meet back here afterward and share our findings.
I know this is strange, but let's get to this stone. Perhaps it can answer some questions. The House of Reveries? In Ebon Stadmont? Why wouldn't I have heard about that?
Lenka, fall away. Future's door.
Did you hear it too? That woman's voice. At first I thought I was imagining it. Future's door. Drat. A House of Reveries expedition I've never heard of. Grand Maestro Forte rebuffing his proper title. And the temple room where we found Fletch? It looked the same as the room we first entered, but there wasn't a cobweb or broken pew in sight. It means we ventured somewhere we never should have gone. The past. I know it seems far-fetched, but remember that stone we first activated? I thought the inscription referenced an event, but the past was a destination, not an occurrence. That's my theory, and I'd rather not explore further to find out. Affecting the past has far-reaching consequences. It makes me wonder what trouble we've already caused. But this stone's inscription indicates it should send us back to the present. I can't be sure, in all honesty, but we have to try. Otherwise, we'll be stuck in the past. This stone should lead us back to our natural time. All you need to do is keep that destination clearly in your mind. I'll follow right behind you. It is quite intriguing. Grand Maestro Forte is the head of Somerset's greatest acting troupe, the House of Reveries. But I've also heard tale that he's a great academic as well, though perhaps I'm more familiar with his work than I thought. The research I've been using to help translate the language here came from an expedition that occurred around this time. Perhaps Maestro Forte wrote the very notes that led me here. I'll ask him, but I'd rather not affect the past more than we have. Well, Fletch was very close to death, and I recall seeing bones in our present time, right where I found him injured. Most likely he was supposed to die. I'm almost glad. As I said earlier, changing the past has far-reaching consequences. For all I know, healing Fletch could have dire consequences to our present. I would have had to weigh his life against the potential impact of that change. Quite a somber thought. I've been hearing this voice since I first started translating these inscriptions. It must be some sort of magic, connected to the inscriptions. Perhaps connected to the language itself, come to think of it. Oh, it is rather odd for a mysterious language to speak to anyone who reads it. The misdirecting nature of Ebon Stadmont must have kept researchers from studying these inscriptions, that's all. Not to mention the local wildlife. I'm not sure what to tell you. I do know that we have to return to our time, and quickly. This mysterious voice, whatever its motivation, is the only thing helping us do that. We have little choice but to follow it now.
Who's there? By Xerxes. It's you. Years and years, and I never could find you. And here you are. Back where it all began. Looking as if you haven't aged a day. My friend, what happened to you? So the stone did send you to the future after all. I had feared the worst. That day I tried to follow after you and return to our original time. But the stone's magic faded, and the doorway closed. Try as I might, I couldn't get it open. I was trapped within Ebon Stadmont. For decades, I'd been studying this language and desperately searching for a way out. But my path would always lead me back here. But I did it. I finally found a way to go back, to stop this all from happening. I must stop myself from ever going back in time. I've been wasting my life within this cursed forest. The Southern Stone. That's the key to... Wait, what's that? Is that Fletch? Fletch! Ah!
I'm sorry, dear, but your role has been cut.
The temple. You must go back. Go through the temple. The Southern Stone. Bane away Tendel. Those are the words. Stop this from happening. Take my diary. It will prove everything.
It's time for the grand finale of our little production. And thus the play continues. I'll see you soon.
Such an effort to escape me. I suppose I have what I need.
Well, I suppose it's curtain call. You finally figured it out. Well, Andelwyn figured it out, didn't she? But hey, you put all the legwork in. And here you are, just in time to stop our leading lady from ever performing her starring role. Ah, but did you kill me? Truly? Not even an accomplished healer could bring me back? And yes, I did take part in Andelwyn's final scene. Or rather, I will. All a matter of perspective there, you see. But she shouldn't have tried to cut the act short. Andelwyn was the leading lady of our production. It was up to her to uncover the mysteries of Ebon Stadmont, to find the true potential of its hidden power. But she found a way to escape, and in her last breath told you the way back to the start. Sadly, yes. And so my part must end as well. I put on quite the performance, though, don't you think? The poor, confused soul, the dastardly villain, the mysterious sage. But I think you have a task to do, don't you? A dying wish to fulfill? Yes, our heroine should be just outside, if I remember correctly. After so many times around, though, I tend to lose track. Well, no need to get into all of that. I told you the very first time we met. I'm Fletch. I used to be a mere actor, but now I serve a greater force. I've served her for quite a while now, helping to find the true power of Ebon Stadmont. With Andelwyn's help, of course. What did Andelwyn call her? Ah, the Spirit of the Sanctum. An appropriate title as any. She rules over this forest. I think she always has, though I'm not quite sure. She needed the power here, you see. Ebon Stadmont was integral to her plans. Don't bother asking me. Mostly because I have no idea. I would have died had the spirit not saved me. And it wasn't too bad. A supporting role at best. I'd make sure the loop continued, make sure Andelwyn kept researching again and again. Oh, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I barely understand, and I've lived through it. And it's done now, in any case. You made sure of that. But I think the spirit learned enough. It will have to do. The language here, of course. You see, it's all rather tricky. Only mortals are able to use the language. That's what allowed you to travel through time after all. And Andelwyn was the perfect candidate to uncover its secrets. Yes, all our heroine needed was the proper motivation. Andelwyn was trapped within the forest, unable to get out. Then she would hear a whisper, guiding, always guiding, and as Andelwyn used the language, my mistress would be watching.
There you are! We finally made it to the temple. Oh, I just can't wait to see what secrets are inside. The temple is a trap? What do you mean? A book? Why, this is my handwriting. I've been trapped within this forest for decades now. Trapped within the past. My face is filled with wrinkles, my heart darkened with regrets. My life was stolen from me. Something trying to... My goodness, this is all so hard to wrap my head around. Yes, I agree. You've gone above and beyond protecting me during this expedition. Though the details seem a bit complicated, to think I would have been trapped here, I'd say our contract is concluded. Thank you for all you've done. I suppose I did succeed in this expedition. The notes you've given me are written by my hand after all. Though of course that me won't exist now since you've stopped me and I'm going to stop now. Before my head hurts. I'm sure these notes will give me more details. The best thing to do now is share our findings with the Mages Guild. Let them know how dangerous this forest truly is. As for me, I'll join back up with Tellinger. You know, it may be silly, but I suppose I came here to step out of his shadow. If I could be the one to crack Ebon Stadmont, well, perhaps that would be enough. And then I was trapped in the past to serve a mysterious being. Oh, I would have been. Tellinger is the one who makes brash decisions and puts us all in danger, and I'm the one who helps fix it. Yet as soon as I lead, I find myself in the same position as him. For now, I'd rather clean up his messes rather than make my own.
Alright, I'm gonna end it here. Finished off a couple quests today, which is nice. But like I say, this is just a tiny little island, and the rest of compared to the rest of the map, so I'll be at this for a while. But yeah, otherwise that's it for today, and peace out.